Hey there, welcome back to the second class. It's so great to see you here for another day. I think if you're watching this second class, it means you've already taken a step that most people still have not. You're learning the technology that's transforming the world. And the most important thing, yesterday we made the first big leap. We uncovered the massive opportunity that artificial intelligence represents, and we understood that this isn't a trend, it's a shift in eras. And when we say it's not a trend, we mean it with real data. More than 86 of jobs will be impacted by AI in the coming years, and 1 in every 2 jobs will be related to it. This isn't a passing phase, it's a structural change in how we work. We talk about how artificial intelligence is impacting every industry, from education to medicine, law, marketing, and beyond. And most importantly, you'll learn that you don't need to be a techie or a programmer to take advantage of it. In fact, that's the best part, no? AI is no longer just for engineers. Today, anyone using their own words can guide it, create content, automate tasks, even build their own assistants. Because, as we said in class 1, the new programming language is English. It's your own language. You just need to know how to communicate with it. And that's the most important part. You saw it yesterday.
Thank you, Jody. Exactly. Yesterday, we showed you a practical, simple methodology that thousands of people are already using, the Aspect technique. We saw how a small change in your prompt can take a mediocre result into a professional, optimized, high-value piece of content. We applied Aspect to real examples, providing a professional SEO-optimized blog, as well as how we can help a local business, in this case a shoe store, who wanted to take his business online and had no prior experience. And you also saw that AI isn't just for writing text. It's a tool that saves real time. From scheduling a medical appointment by voice, which can connect to your Google Calendar, as we saw in yesterday's example, to generalizing personalized interview questions and filters from a PDF of resumes that we uploaded to our Google Docs drive.
Exactly, that's the magic of this technology. It gives you back your time, boosts your productivity, and opens up brand new opportunities. And that's precisely why, if you feel like you don't have time, it's a sign that you need this tech more than ever. Because the time you invest in learning it today, you get back multiplied every single week in your real-life tasks. And you should know something important before we dive in. What you are learning here in AI 3 and 4 is just the beginning, the foundation. Everything we're showing you in these 4 lessons is part of a bigger path that we designed to take you from zero to professional level in artificial intelligence. A structured mentor program where you apply everything step by step with real projects and the support of expert mentors. And that's called Centella Pro, our 4-month professional program developed together with European University of Andorra and the Savall University of Florida. It's the next step for those who don't just want to understand AI, but want to master it and use it to transform their careers. We'll talk more about it in the upcoming sessions, but keep in mind, as you follow this class, because everything you're learning here connects directly to that professional path. So if yesterday's class was about the opportunity in AI, today's is about transformation. It's about you empowering with AI, because we're going from understanding how to talk to AI to building your very own AI, your very own artificial intelligence. And no, I'm not talking about programming, I'm not talking about coding, I'm talking about creating your own custom AI agent. An intelligence that works with you, understands what you do, and can actually do tasks for you. Up until now, you've been talking to ChatGPT, but today, ChatGPT is going to talk for you. What you're going to see today is the shift from user to creator. Yesterday, you learned how to write great prompts. Today, you will understand how to build your own agent, want the things, response, and get things done just like you don't, like myself would do. And the best part is no programming, no code, no complicated setups. You just need to understand the logic and structure behind how these models work.
Exactly. Today, we're going to build an AI agent from scratch. And before you start thinking this is going to be way too complicated or that you're never going to be able to do it, don't worry. There isn't a single line of code in today's class. Everything you'll see will be done with visual tools, just drag and drop, as if you were using Google or as if you were using Calm. Literally anyone can do this. So let's dive in. Today, you'll see how it works behind the scenes and how you can have an agent working by your side 24/7. Until now, you were giving instructions to ChatGPT. But with agents, what we do is we create an intelligent version of yourself. One that's trained with your own documents, your processes, and your way of thinking. For example, if you run a customer support business, you can build an agent that answers emails automatically using your brand tone and policies. If you're in marketing, you can have one that generates weekly content, checks performance, and even suggests new ideas. And again, all without code. Just set up how it behaves, what it knows, and where its limits lie. Before we go hands-on, let's quickly review the aspect method, because we're going to be using it in all of the examples that we use today. Remember, we have action, steps, persona, examples, context, constraints, and template. That structure lets you give AI clear instructions to get professional results. And today you'll see exactly how it works in real situations. Okay, so to review the aspect method, we're going to now go back to ChatGPT and look at a precise example. So here I've prepared a prompt for you that we're going to analyze together. I'm also going to be running it together so you can see a bit more of an advanced exercise. So in this particular case, we're going to use an Excel file. Now, how many of you have had to, at work, university, wherever it may be, have to work with an Excel file full of data, full of numbers, and just think, this is going to be impossible? We're here is where ChatGPT is going to jump in and save us, and using a good prompting technique, such as the aspect method, we're going to make it that much easier. So in this particular case, we're going to give it a massive bottle. We have a ton of data on the average price of US homes throughout the last 50 years of history. So we're going to give it the prompt, and we're going to ask for it to skim all the data, analyze it, find 5 key trends, create 2 graphs with data, and then also write conclusions and just basic information from the file so that it looks like we're writing ourselves and analyze it. So how would we structure this prompt? Let's follow the aspect method and see how we did. So number 1, we have action. Analyze the uploaded Excel file containing US Annual House Price Index, HPI data. Identify the top 5 major data insights and visualize your findings with 2 clear label graphs. Steps. 1. Load and review the dataset. 2. Clean or prepare the data that you need. We're going to give it a massive file. Some of that data is not going to be relevant. We're looking for main trends here. So whatever is not useful, we're just asking ChatGPT, gather it a bit. We're going to focus on the most important elements and data. 3. Calculate key indicators, national average, year-over-year change, and regional differences. Step 4. Identify and describe the 5 most relevant trends or insights, whether it's growth, regional differences, historical shifts, etc. Next, create 2 graphs. Graph 1 is going to be the national trend of HPI over time. Graph 2 is going to be the regional or state level comparison. Finally, step 6, write a short conclusion summarizing what these trends reveal about the US housing market. Persona. You're a housing market analyst, the data visualization expert who prepares reports for business students and real estate investors. This makes sense, right? We're going to tell ChatGPT to take this persona, take this role, because we need to become an expert at analyzing data, and particularly real estate data. Examples. Follow the clear and professional tone and chart style of the Federal Reserve Economic Thingy. We could put any example that we want. This is just a trusted source that I think writes very well these types of reports. You could write anything you want here. Precise, visual, clean, and easy to interpret. You can even just write this if you don't want to complicate yourself much more than that. Compass. The dataset represents annual US HPI data used to track housing market changes. The analysis will be shown in an educational demo about using AI for real-world data analysis. This is current context that I'm showing to you guys. Constraints. Keep written insights under 300 words. Again, this is mostly going to be a data exercise. We don't want too much text, so we're asking them to keep it short, sweet, simple. Next, use professional labels that focus on data-driven insights, no speculation. Each graph should appear separately, with 1 sentence caption to let us know what each graph is showing. Template, well, again, this is a bit redundant because we already gave it before, but let's specify. Data overset with 2-3 sentences, bullet 5, the top 5 insights, graph 1, graph 2. That's about it, and the conclusion. So now, we've copied this, and we've pasted it onto ChatGPT, the exact same prompt. And now we're just going to go here to the plus on the bottom left-hand corner, and we're going to upload our file. In this case, I have it right here. There it is, HPI national data. So we're going to send that. As you can see, here is the table, right? It is putting all the data you have in there from 1970s, 80s, 90s, etc. We have lots of columns, as you can see as well. And we're just going to wait while it analyzes. So as you can see, and as Dorley explained before, remember we have two types of models, right? We have conversational models and we have thinking models. So conversational models are more instant. You ask per a prompt and you instantly get an answer. There's not much data processing or thinking in generating an answer. In this case, as you can see, the model is actually thinking because it has to process, analyze all of this data, and make sure it gives us an output that matches the description that we get. So we're going to give it a few seconds to think and provide our answers and graphs, and we'll see the quality of the answer. Okay, so we wait about 45 seconds, not much more than that, and we now have our answers. So first of all, it gave us our first graph, US National House Price Index over time. As you can see, we have a graph here that plots from the 70s up until 2025 with the price of homes and how it increases. Okay, as you can see, ChatGPT generated this by itself thanks to data we gave it and our aspect prompt. As you can see, it also has a one-line title as we requested. Number 2, we have our second graph. In this case, we have the annual percentage change in US house prices. Again, one-line title to mark the graph, and here's all the data perfectly plotted with the information we gave it. We can even see how in the 2008 crisis and the years after that, we have a significant decrease in home value, which makes a lot of sense. Then we asked for a dataset overview, so it gave us a very brief summary. Dataset covers US National House Price Index from 1975 to 2024, including metrics such as the nominal HPI, annual percentage change, and alternative base year indices. Data is unadjusted for seasonal variation and reflects cumulative national appreciation. So a one-paragraph summary of what the data is about. Then we asked the top 5 insights, and here we have them. So number 1, steady long-term growth. The national HPI increased from 100 in 1975 to 780 by 2024. Here you can see the data. You can see that that is correct. Next, rapid expansion in 2000s. Between 2000 and 2007, the index grew by over 80%, making the strongest sustained housing expansion before the financial crisis. Again, let's go to our data, and we can see, as a matter of fact, there was a very rapid increase, particularly in the final years before the crisis. Makes sense. 2008 housing crisis dip, a notable contraction occurred from 2008 to 2011, which we can see in both graphs, it's correct as well. Post-2012 recovery, from 2012 onward, the market rebounded sharply, averaging 6 to 8% in annual gains. We can see that it's correct. Ever since the crisis, we only had growth. Once again, this is doing a perfect job. And the recent surge from 2020 to 2022, we saw record high growth. Again, look at the data and we can see that, as a matter of fact, that is correct. The biggest growth is concentrated within these two years. So far, we asked for 2 graphs with a simple one-line title. It has executed that perfectly. We asked for the top 5 insights, and they're also done excellently well. And finally, we asked for the conclusions. So the data reveals a long-run upward trajectory in US housing values, punctured by distinct boom and bust cycles. Despite short-term volatility, particularly around 2008-20, the national housing market has demonstrated resilient, sustained appreciation, reinforcing real estate's role as a core asset class in long-term investment portfolios. Again, look at how, with such an easy prompt, an easy structure that you yourself have learned and can replicate, you managed to get so much insight, so many graphs, and such valuable data. If we had to do this ourselves manually, this has to be taken out, and it would probably require skills that many of us don't have. So look at the value of this prompting technique. Now, before we continue, I want to show you another function within ChatGPT that a lot of people are not aware of. So we're going to open a new chat, and we're going to show you again that function. So if we go here to the top, to the bottom left, next to where we begin writing our prompt and we hit the plus, we're going to find, this is where we're adding our files before, we're going to find this node right here called deep research. And this is what we're going to be using. So again, remember the explanation that Jordi gave in yesterday's class, or the explanation I just gave now. We have two types of models, right? We have conversational models that are just instant. You ask for a prompt and you immediately get a response. And then you have models that actually reason, that actually research, that analyze data before giving us an answer. When we use deep research, we're using this second fact. And what this function is meant for is for basically analyzing trends on the internet, analyzing big announcement data. So I'm going to give you an example, a real life example of how we can use this function just to show you how powerful it is and when it makes sense for you to use. Now, you may remember yesterday we talked about a business owner that we made up. In this case, it was a local shoe store in Barcelona that wanted to go into the internet world by creating an e-commerce store for their store so they could start selling online. Now, let's imagine that this business owner, before doing this, wanted to do some research on, is the market growing? Which European countries are growing the most? Which types of shoes are selling the most? This thing is very relevant and useful before taking his store online, so he can decide if he's going to go to all Europe, specific countries, which products he's going to focus on, etc., etc. And this is a great example of how we could use this deep research tool. So I prepared, once again, a prompt right here. Wait a second. Here we go, which we're going to copy and paste. Now, we're using the aspect method, but this time I did reorganize a bit the order just because I wrote it in a more natural. But here we go. You are a senior market analyst specializing in European fashion and footwear sector. So this would be our persona. You have been hired to conduct deep market research on the 2025 European footwear market for small independent brands. This would be the action. Your client owns a small local shoe store in Barcelona, expanding online in 2025. This would be our context. Please follow the following steps. Step 1, identify top 5 trends in men's casual shoes. Step 2, provide approximate market size in US dollars and growth rate. Step 3, summarize the top 3 countries with the highest demand. Step 4, list 5 consumer behaviors, age, style, and budget. And step 5, suggest 3 product niches a small Barcelona shoe brand could focus on. These are the steps. Next, follow the structure of the McKinsey Insights report. Concise, data-rich, and organized in bullet points. This would be the template that we're using for. Use only 2024 to 2025 data. Cite credible sources if available, under 700 words. And finally, present results in Markdown with a summary table and bullets insights. So we're going to hit play and we're going to see what it says. First of all, it says, okay, before I conduct this investigation, I need to ask you some questions to clarify. And we have 3 questions that we are being asked. Now, this is very interesting because since this model uses so much computing power and it takes a while to give us an answer, it wants to make sure it has all the information it needs before giving us an output. So let's see what it is. Question 1. Do you want the analysis to focus exclusively on online sales or both online and in-store? I'm going to say both. I want to just know the size of the market throughout Europe. So question 1, both. 2. Should the research target Western Europe broadly or just EU countries? Let's go with, I'm going to say all of Europe. And question 3. Is your interest limited to leather and fashion-focused casual shoes, or should it include athletic-inspired casual footwear? Let's just say, let's include both as well. Okay. We're going to answer the question. It says, great. I'll analyze the 2025 European men's casual shoe market across both online and offline channels, covering all of Europe and including both fashion and athletic-inspired footwear. As you can see, we now get this different interface than when we do a normal conversation with a more simple model. First of all, it's saying starting research, and we can see a progress bar, which right now is obviously empty. You will also see that we have the button to stop. If at some point we think we made a mistake or we no longer want to do the research, we can just stop it right here. Since it's going to take a while, we have the possibility to pause it right there. And also, on the right-hand side, we're going to have all of the sources that is going to be final. So we're going to give it a few seconds. We're going to wait till the process. This might take a few minutes. So we're going to stop it here. And when we have a few of this progress done and we have a few sources, I'll come back to you to show you the progress. Okay, so as you can see, we've done a bit of progress, not much more. We've been about a minute since we posted, and we can see the progress bar has increased a little bit. And on the right-hand side of the screen, we can start seeing some of the data that it's finding. For example, 2025 European men's casual footwear. I'm analyzing the top trend in men's casual shoes and market size. Search for European market. So this is kind of giving us the history and the steps it is taking to complete this investigation. And we can even see the exact source that it is using to take this data. We can see that together, it's giving us more answers saying, I'm piecing together top trends men, casual shoes, focusing on sustainability, comfort versus tip. Then it searched for top 2024 men's casual footwear trends in Europe. Again, more articles, more sources, and see how the bar continues to progress as we get more sources. You can also see here how it's still thinking. It says it here at the bottom. Okay, so again, I'm going to wait until we have the final result, and I'll show it to you once it's complete. Okay, we're back and the analysis has finished. Here you can see research completed. It took 6 minutes. It's checked 14 sources and did 56 searches to obtain the information that we asked for. But we finally have this report, and the information is super valuable and super well organized. So first we have an executive summary, which gives us a bit of just the basic points of the investigation that they undertook. And then we have the key KPIs that we wanted. We have the market size. In this case, it's almost $91 billion. We have the growth rate, which is between 3 and 3.6% annually. The largest markets, in this case, are Germany, UK, and France, based on consumption, volume, value. Fastest growing market is Spain, and it's expected to continue growing in Europe. The dominant sectors, non-athletic, so casual footwear, and a consumer shape. So we're seeing that people are going from casual and athletic shoes to more formal shoes. Also, you can see how online purchases are increasing. Very interesting. Then we asked for the top 5 trends. So here we have them: sustainability and eco-friendly, athleisure and sneaker dominance, comfort and wellness focus, minimalist, quiet luxury style, and retro and heritage revival. We also have more information here about the market size. So again, 90 to 95 billion, growth rate of 4%. See how all the sources here are cited? If I click here, I will be redirected to the specific article that it took to obtain this data. This is very interesting if I'm doing any investigation, because I can check my source and I can make sure that this data is in fact correct. Or if I'm just curious and want to know more information, I can read the article myself. Super helpful. Top 3 markets. Here it explains the markets that it found before, key consumer behaviors, etc. Then we asked for a little graph. Okay, I said that the information you have gathered, please create a Google Sheet using key data and create a graph showing the growth in the industry for the coming years. So quite a very simple graph. And here I have a CSV that I could download and take to Excel. So I have all this information. Imagine how powerful this is, whether you are a business owner who wants to start any business and just wants some data to see where they should invest. Or let's say that you are a student and you have a thesis or a project to do. In 6 minutes, you gathered all of this. Or let's say you work at a market research firm or want to start freelancing and offering research to companies. Something like this used to take hours or days to prepare, and we just did it in 6 minutes and 14 seconds. This is the power of good prompting and using AI tools correct.
That was unbelievable, incredible, Danny. I mean, I don't know if I can talk about hallucinations. No, you heard Danny that, in fact, it's seeking for sources, so sources on the internet, he's searching. But what I could say is, how much time do you save? How much time have already saved because of this? I mean, I'm talking about hours. Hours that I would have spent searching this information, looking on the website, trying to find and gather everything, creating the graphs. It was incredible. And that's with plain English. No code, no programming, no tech skills. If you are following this, if you're using a smartphone, if you can use a computer, you can use AI. And that's the most important thing of today's class, that it's everything in plain English. We are in the era of democratization of AI. So let's see, or let's right now, how to build an agent, because we've seen it, we've talked about this, but before I want to go to my board, to my slides, and let's recap again what a GPT agent was. Again, Danny was talking or was prompting just an AI model, a generic AI model, but we want to talk about agents. An AI agent, a GPT or custom GPT inside ChatGPT. So we are starting from a generic AI model, could be, for example, Gemini, Copilot, Claude, ChatGPT. And from this generic AI model, we want to give instructions, we want to give know-how, files, some kind of files that you will see that are my files, my business files, my instruction. It's whatever you have that you can give it to AI in order AI to know, and you have only to give it once, and it will remember always this information. And when we give it, we can also give it power to choose whichever tool it will have to use in all kinds of situations. Again, an agent is like a plumber that has a tool set and can choose whichever tool for different kind of situations. So let's try to see it on live with my PC. So now let's see it on my computer. And before it, we have to give the files, the instructions. And because of this, I prepare some kind of documents, business documents. For example, here you can see that I have my facts, my frequently answered questions about Centella. So for example, about the program, who can join the program, what's included on our program, what are the program's main goals, some kind of questions, the most frequent asked questions that this agent could know. So in the first step, we have that my agent, my AI model, knows my frequent asked questions. So he can answer, or it can answer my know-how. Moreover, I have my marketing guide. For example, this agent could also help new people onboarded on the marketing team in order to create content. For example, our general strategy, our content goal is to educate, inspire, and convert. Every post must achieve at least one of these purposes. Instagram strategy, we have also here the Instagram content creation guide. For example, some kind of calendar in Instagram posting. We have our LinkedIn strategy, and the same for LinkedIn. Again, I have another document called Onboarding at Centella. So for new employee onboarding guide, welcome to a company, our mission, our vision, our core values, our strategic objectives, and all the information that I would like to give to this AI model. The more textual information, the better. Try to avoid images, try to avoid images or videos in PDFs. It won't be as powerful as a textual document. Okay, so right now we have these documents. What I would like to do is to download each of them into a PDF. I will download this, I will download this one, and finally the frequent asked question. Okay, so right now I'm going to create my custom GPT from scratch. This is important. Yesterday we said that everyone can use GPTs. Either you have the free plan or the Premium Plus Pro plan. It doesn't matter. But when we talk about creating custom GPTs, we have to think that only the paid plans can create the GPTs. Everyone can use it. So for example, if we talk about monetize it, as a lot of our students have already done, if for example, I create an agent that can ask all the questions about Centella, I could sell it to Danny, and Danny, without paying ChatGPT, without paying the premium account, he could also use it. So I could, for example, sell my GPT for $400 to Danny and earn, for example, $400 and earn a maintenance fee of $100 per month because I have to change some kind of documents, I have to update the instructions or whatever. Before it, let's see how we create it. So you can see here the interface of ChatGPT. Okay, great. We go to the GPTs, explore GPTs. You saw it yesterday. Then here, if you are in the Pro Plus plan, you can, in the top right corner, you can click Create. When you click Create, this interface is opened and you can create in an interactive way, but when you know how to do it, I advise you to do it in the configure way. And you have to, first of all, give it a name. For example, Centella's brain. Centella's brain, okay? The description: you help new employees at Centella, for example. Okay, then the instructions. One of the most important parts. I would say both instructions and the knowledge base, the know-how, the files are the most important ones. So for the instructions, you are not going to use the aspect method. You're going to use another kind of a structure, but because this is a short class and I can show you everything, this is just the top of the iceberg, I want you to look at these instructions, okay? Right now you can see these instructions that we are going to give to this model. For example, your goal as an assistant is to help customers fast, guide new hires, give a marketing quick, and be a go-to brain for definitions and processes. What you do, and this is important, when there's customer support, answer using the facts of Centella, okay? When newcomers come, when we have new hires, you have to seek onto the onboarding guide. When we have a new marketing strategy, you have to check the marketing Centella, this marketing guide document. So we name the documents that the AI should check when asking a question, okay? So what not to do: no answers without the source. You saw it with Danny. No personal opinions, no info dump. Basic answer shape, answer with 1 or 2 clear sentences, the source, and next step, okay? When to escalate. For example, here at the onboarding guide, at the end, if I'm not wrong, key contacts, okay? For example, key contacts when you don't know where to look for information. Manager, Jordi Segura. Technical support, Soporte, Roba, Centella. Human resources, HR at Centella. Okay, so here in the instructions, we will say that when there's some kind of conflict, you should escalate to the right owner: support, HR, marketing, operations. Keep the knowledge fresh, always search in the knowledge base first, always check the knowledge base. You never hallucinate, you never kind of invent information. And last thing, always use the name Centella to stay consistent. So we'll copy everything here, just copy everything here, and we'll paste it onto the instructions. We have the instructions, we have a name, we have a description. Meanwhile, we will create an image for our agent using DALL-E. Keep it simple. I will explain what is DALL-E in a minute, 2 minutes, and I will explain the AI, Gen AI image models. And then you have conversation starters, so a way to begin the conversation. This is used when you want to sell an agent, as I was telling you before, to a client, for example. Right now, we don't need it. Knowledge, the know-how, okay? Conversations with your GPT can potentially reveal part of these files. We want to upload files, and we have download these 3 files. You see here. You just have to open them, each of them, and then you have already these 3 files here uploaded. So you see the onboarding, the facts, and the marketing guide. You can update these documents later, you can delete them later, delete one of them, add more documents later once you have created the agent. The recommended model, this is for advanced purposes, and then the capabilities. You know, this toolset that we were explaining before, do we want that our agent is able to do web searching? No. We want to check its knowledge base. Do we want the canvas? No. Do we want that it generates images? No. Do we want the code interpreter and data analysis? let's see. Allow the GPT to run code. When enabled, the GPT can analyze data, work with your uploaded files, generate downloaded files, and perform math and more. Well, work with your uploaded files. So yeah, I will check this up, and I could already create it. When I create it, we can see that we can share it only for me. We can share it with anyone with a link. So if I'm selling the GPT to Danny and Danny doesn't have the Pro plan, it doesn't matter, I can share it with him. So I will create it. And once it's created, we'll try it. Here you can see that we also created this image. It's a kind of a book with an arrow. Then we see the GPT. And let's see. Let's try to ask a question, for example, and let's try to use this function that you haven't seen before. Okay, I have some questions because I'm a newcomer in the marketing team and I don't know where to start. I don't know how to plan my strategy. I have to create a week of content for LinkedIn and Instagram, and I have to do like 5 posts in Instagram, 5 posts in LinkedIn for the next week. I don't know. We have had, for example, the launch of ChatGPT 5 or GPT-5 and new AI models, but I don't know how to create it and which is the way to do it properly. So what you see right now is that I can just speak with AI and this voice will be transcribed in order to give, for example, here, the text. Okay? So it's been transcribed. You've seen here for a moment that first of all, it's searched its knowledge base, okay? And then you have this answer that here's a quick plan based on Centellia's marketing guide and onboarding at Centella. Define your goal. Step 2, plan your week. For example, here you go. Idea, what's new with GPT-5, 5 ways GPT-5 changes how you work. Try them in your next project, AI for everyone, from students to businesses. And then you have here LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is different, so LinkedIn has to be different from Instagram, okay? Here you have tools that we actually use in our business and some kind of track metrics. So let me stand up and make just a quick sum up of what we've seen, okay? So let's see, what we have already seen is that we have some kind of generic AI models that when we communicate with these Gen AI models that are textual, for example, ChatGPT, Copilot, Claude, Gemini, we have to use techniques like Aspect. The Aspect technique allows us to communicate in a proper way with these generic text AI models. When we use AI agents, custom GPTs, what we have is a model that already has some kind of instructions, already has some kind of files, business files, that we gave it once and then always remember it. And you can use it, but you can also share it or you can sell these agents. And now I want to move a step forward in order to see other kind of AI models. We've seen text Gen AI, we've seen generative AI that gives text, but there are other models. So let me go to my slides, and here you can see different models. We have already talked about text Gen AI, we've talked about ChatGPT, about Anthropic with its models Claude, Llama 2, Llama 3 from Meta, from Facebook, Copilot from Microsoft, or Gemini from Google. If we talk about image or Gen AI that can generate images, we can talk also for OpenAI with its models DALL-E, or for example Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, or Leonardo AI. You give a prompt with these models and they generate images. With ChatGPT, we have integrated directly into ChatGPT, so you can also give a prompt that it's textual, but it can generate a text or an image. We can also give video. For example, GenAI video tools like Kaiber, Sora, Runway, that you will see it in a few moments, Google Veo 3, or for example, Pika Labs. These models allows us to create some videos. So from a different kind of prompt, you can create videos. And it's important, before moving on, it's important you won't give a prompt like the Aspect method to these models. So Aspect allows you to communicate with models, with GenAI models that are textual. When we talk about prompting into these AI models, image or video models, we have to change the Aspect method. We cannot use it. We have to personalize or be more concrete, more precise. The image has some kind of expression, some kind of light. The video one have some kind of movement, so you have to move. So we will see in the next slides again how to use prompts and how to create good prompts.
Sorry, 1 minute. Before you continue, I need to ask you for a favor.
Okay.
I need you to record a voice note.
Okay.
So that we can then create an avatar with your voice and show the audience how it's done. Can you do that for me quickly?
Okay, very cool.
Go ahead, just record something.
Okay, we are here in the second class in order to see how these different types of models work, and we'll see how these different prompt techniques are used, and later on you will see the new business model of 2026.
Thank you very much. We'll see it in a bit.
Okay, we'll see in a bit. So let's recap. We have text models. These text models, we can use the Aspect technique. We have models like ChatGPT, but also Copilot, Gemini. For images, for image ones in the GenAI image section, we have, for example, DALL-E that's also integrated inside ChatGPT. But for example, Midjourney is for more professional images. We also have Ideogram. For video ones, you have, for example, Kaiber, Runway, Sora 2, Google Veo 3 that are really professional tools in order to create videos. And later on, we have the audio ones, for example, 11 Labs, one of the most known AI tools. Or for example, inside ChatGPT, you also have already seen how from a voice note, you can also transcribe it in order to have text, but vice versa. You can also give text to ChatGPT and create some kind of voice. And now, the million-dollar question, Jordi, how do you create good prompts for image gen AI models? You have to use this technique, okay? So you cannot use the method, the Aspect method, and you have to use the 6-step method. First of all, the art medium. Are we talking about a photo? Are we talking about a painting? Are we talking about an oil painting? Which is the art medium? Then the main object. See, the main object is one of the most important things in this kind of image. So the main object is a person, is a guy, is a man, is a cat, is a tree. What is the main object? Later on, the third step is the attribute. So is a young man, a young blonde man, the attributes of this object. If you are talking about a cat, if you are talking about a tree, you have to give its attributes. Then we go to the style expression. This style expression could be some kind of a style, like, for example, we are talking about a Pinterest style, we are a boring style, some kind of angriness, or kind of these expressions. Key light. Are we talking about a sunset? A sunrise light, it's important. A general light, it's important. It's important because it will give different touches to your image. And then the details, no? Everything that's is surrounding right now myself. For example, we have a plant behind me or some kind of painting behind me. We can also a table here, for example, a glass table. So all the details that you want to be in your image. So I think that the best way to see it is in practice. So Danny, let's see how do we create images, professional images.
Well, Jordi, thank you very much for that. So yes, now we're going to look at these exact and precise examples. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to ideogram.ai. So you can see right here the URL. Okay, and the first thing that we're going to see when we land on this page is exactly this, that we need to sign in. So we're just going to sign in with Google, and we're going to create a free account with whatever Gmail address that you have. Okay, perfect. So we just signed in with our emails, and we now arrive in the homepage. So just to give you a quick tour of what we're going to see, we're not going to go into too much depth of this, but first of all, we have a prompt box where we can write our prompt, just like in ChatGPT. Below, we can see some images that other users have created, very interesting. If we go to the left-hand side of the tab, we have the home screen, which is where we are right now. Creation is where we're going to be able to see everything that we've created ourselves. We're going to have a canvas where we can edit images that we have generated before. And I'm not going to go into the other features because we're not going to use them as much. So now, let's look at a real and practical example. What can we use images for? Because it's very cool to know that we can generate images, but I always like giving it a real sense, related to our job, our work, or any way of monetizing. So for that, I've prepared, as usual, in my document, an example, which is, let's imagine that we have an e-commerce store and we're going to sell the product. We're going to move away from previous examples of a travel company or shoes. In this case, we're going to go into tech. Let's say we are selling a headset and we want to generate an image of such headset. Let's assume that our design is similar to, let's say, the AirPods Max, just to make it similar, probably a design that other people are familiar with. And we're going to generate two images, one of the product itself and one of a model wearing the product. So we prepared the following prompt, which I'm just going to copy and paste. We've followed Jordi's instructions. Okay, so we're just going to paste it here. And this is where our prompt would go. So let's quickly read it. We're going to have an ultra-realistic advertising image of the premium over-ear headphones inspired by the AirPods Max. The color we want is matte black finish, displayed on a black, remarkable reflective surface. We want studio luxury light setup with a soft key light from the left. Remember, Jordi was talking about the key light. We want it from the front, top. In this case, we want it from the left. Color light from the right. Next, put a perfect symmetry and a 3D texture in the background. We don't need to be as specific. And here, you can put some photography that is not necessary. It's just the type of blends that I like when I create images. This is not necessary at all if you don't want to add it. Or if you want, you can just copy and paste literally upon. In general, we want a clean, minimalistic composition in the vertical form. So we're just going to hit generate here. Well, actually, before we do, we can select here which aspect ratio we want. So the aspect ratio is basically the size of the image, right? We basically have portrait, let's assume a phone, or we have landscape, right? So we can here look at the different designs and pick whichever one to do. Let's assume that in this case, I'm going to use it for social media. Let's say an Instagram story. So I'm going to go with portrait for this example, and then we can do another one with landscape. Okay, so I'm just going to hit the 9:16 dimensions, which is the typical thumb. Here we can see if we want it public or private. Okay, in this case, I'm just going to leave it public so anyone could see these images. And we're just going to hit jet. Now, as soon as we do that, you can see that on the bottom right-hand side of the corner, we're going to have these 4 squares. These are basically the images that we're currently generating. You can see here the percentage of completion. And what the system is doing is it's currently generating multiple versions of the exact same prompt and image that I generated. This is so that we can pick whichever one we like the most. So let's look at the different examples. But like I said, we can go to creations and see it there. So I'm going to go there and look at it prompt. So these are the 4 images that we just generated now. We have these, we have these, we have these, and finally we have these. So the ones I like the most in this case are these ones. So if I'm going to download the image, to do so, I'm just going to go here to download, and it's going to give you 2 options. You can either download at 70% quality, a JPEG file, or a PNG file, which is 100% quality. Both are honestly fine. I'm going to download 100%, that 70 also works fantastically well. Now, at the same time, we also have a second prompt, like I said, which is in this case with a person wearing the actual headphones. So I'm just going to go back to home screen. I'm going to go back to my prompt, and I'm going to just case the one here. Okay, we have the same ratio, and we're just going to hit generate, and we're going to wait until it generates. Okay, this is the exact same process as you can see, and we can repeat it many times. You can see that just simply by making some changes, in this case at the beginning of the prompt, the machines really made, is we've said that we want a vertical portrait of an elegant woman wearing the premium headphones. And here we have the images that we generated. Again, let's go to our creations, and let's check them out and see which ones you like the most. So it's image number 1. This is image number 2, image number 3, and image number 4. Let's say in this case, I liked image number 2, 3, and 4. I think they both look genuinely realistic, but I'm just going to take 3 in this case. Once again, we're going to download it and keep it for ourselves. Okay, now there's also many other tools to generate images. Before I show you what I want to do with these images, I want to show you other models in which you can make hyper-realistic images, obviously with a bit more advanced prompting and a bit more work. Again, this is not to stress you out or go into more depth. This is just to show you, this is just the tip of the iceberg. It's great that you're learning this, but there's much, much more. And we actually see this in our academy in Fintech Pro. So I'm just going to show you some of the images that we generated. This is Sora. This is a different model for generating images. Look at the quality of these beats that I generated, these fake beats. I think it's very realistic. And then we made some images for some fake night shoes that glow in the dark. Look at this picture of these two athletes. Super realistic. Again, this is done just with good prompting and using the right tools. And these are the types of things that you're going to be learning in these 4 sessions with. So now let's see. Remember, we have our images here that we downloaded and we're very happy with. Now what we're going to do is take it to the next level and we're going to animate these images. Okay, I think these images are already super cool. If we were starting our e-commerce brand, we'd have content for social media, for a product page, for the homepage, for wherever we want. But if we make a video, then that could be even more interesting and differentiate us more from our competition and have a much cooler and nicer e-commerce store or social media. So for that, we're going to go into Runway. Okay, so simply we're just going to search Runway in Google. Okay. And we want to search for this one. Okay, runawayml.com. There's a few that go by similar names, so make sure it's this one, runawayml.com. So we're just going to click and we're going to go to get started. And once again, we're going to sign in with Google. Okay, so exact same concept. We're going to click the button and take the email address that we prefer to create the account. Okay, here we go. We're signing in and here we arrive to the main page. So as you can see here, we have the homepage, and what we're going to do is animate a video. So if you can see here, we can write our prompt and could write the prompt here directly, but I'm going to show you a different place where we're going to move it. In this case, since we know we want to generate a video, you can see here on the left-hand side, we have a create section. And here we have generate video, generate image, generate audio. In this case, I'm just going to go directly to generate video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add my image. I'm going to attach it here. So I'm going to select an asset. I'm just going to add it and drag and drop it. So this is going to go into my files and we're just going to, so in this case, we're going to go to downloads and we have our headphones right here. We're going to click open. There you go. And then I prepared a brief prompt right here to animate the image. So give me a second and we're going to copy and paste that prompt. Here's our prompt. So let's take it to Runway and let's just read it. Well, actually it's generated and while it's generating, we'll read it just to make the most out of time. You can see it goes straight into queue and starts slow. So our prompt is the following. Ultra-realistic cinematic video of the matte black over-ear headphones on a dark reflective marble surface. Slow camera with a smooth 180 twist, basically. We want soft studio light across the product, revealing metallic and velvet textures. Subtle dust in the air and a gentle focus shift toward our logo. Keep the headphones sharp and stable, luxury text mood, clean, minimal, and vertical format. So here's our image, our video, and let's see what it looks like. Okay, in this case, it was just zooming into the product. I didn't want it to do like a 180R. So we're going to generate more versions of this and change, okay? So I'm actually, while I change this prompt, I'm going to create the next video just so you can see how this is done. So once again, let me go here, I'm going to get the video, select an asset, double click. And in this case, we're now going to put the image of the woman, which we're going to animate. And while the image of the woman is animating, I'm going to make some changes to the previous prompt just to get that 360 effect, which is really what I was looking for. So again, we're going to go here onto our cheat sheet where we have our prompts ready. Again, here we're just asking to animate the image of the woman. So it looks like she is listening to music and you can see some mood. We want a video, we don't really want an image in this case. We have the aspect ratio here, 9:16, which is the one we had before. And we're just going to generate that video. Okay, so here we have our video animated. In this case, we just wanted a bit of movement, nothing much. We wanted the person to be moving their neck a bit, their head a bit, not too much. This is a high-tech, highly elegant brand. We don't want someone just moving their head like crazy. So we just want a bit of movement to show it's a video. It is not an image. So we're gonna, oops, there we go. Then zoom in. And here we have it. You can see the person is closing their eyes, opening them, moving their head a bit. Again, this could be perfectly an Instagram story for our brand if we were to release these headphones. So quite interesting and pretty good job by Simple Pro. Now, going back to our homepage, we're gonna recreate the first video again, like we said, because I wasn't very happy with the movement. So again, we're gonna select an asset, in this case, the exact same one that we already uploaded. There you go. We're gonna paste our new prompt. We're gonna generate it and we're gonna see the difference. Now, I'm glad that this happened live because many times, as we said before, it is within prompting that we find the mistakes. So in this case, I wanted an image, a video, that would spin the product page in a 360 manner. And instead what we got is just a zoom in. So technically we generate a video, but it's not what I was looking for. This was probably because my prompt wasn't done correctly. So I redid my prompt, made sure it was more specific. And now let's see the results. Then full screen. Okay, so now we're back to improving the previous image that we weren't happy. So the first thing we did is we just rewrote the prompt just to make sure that we are specifying the only 360-degree rotation. This is really what we're looking for. And we're going to select the exact same image from before. We have these and upload them. There we go. And we're going to generate. Now, I'm glad this happened and you got to see this because this is actually going to happen to a lot of you. Many times when working with AI, especially at the beginning, we're going to make mistakes, or sometimes if we don't even make the mistake specifically, we're going to get a result that's not what we wanted. This is perfectly normal and happens. And it all goes down to the same thing, prompting. Was I specific enough? Did I follow the format correctly? Did I request for everything that I wanted to? Sometimes we have to take a step back, rewrite our prompt, and then we can improve the result and get what we want. So we have here our new output. Let's check it out and see if it's more accurate and similar to what we want to see. Okay, so we're going to go back to the first image that we generated and we weren't very happy. So here, I'm glad this happened because this is something that's going to happen to most of you. But basically what I've done here is I've rewritten my prompt to do two things. I've generated a nicer image, I like more, and also a prompt that specifies more, but we want a smooth 360-degree rotation. While I set this up, which is basically going to be following the exact same steps that I mentioned before, here are my new headphones that I generated, and this is the new prompt generated. So I'm happy that you saw this because this is going to happen to a lot of you. When working with AI, many times we're going to make mistakes, especially at the beginning, or we're going to generate a result that, if not a mistake, is going to be different to what we imagined. At the end of the day, it all comes back to the same thing, prompting. If we don't get the result that we wanted, something needs to change within our prompt. So I took a step back, I generated a newer image that I liked even more. I looked more to the example I wanted to generate, and I also gave more specific instructions. Here we have our new output, and let's check it out and see if it looks more to what we wanted in the first place. Here we go. We can see the product is perfectly rotating on itself, giving us different angles so that we can actually see it. This is going to give us a lot more quality and a lot more credibility on our e-commerce store or our social media. So again, remember that apart from everything that Jordi taught you before and everything that we just saw before, it all comes down to the same thing, a good quality prompt. And if we don't get what we want at first, let's take a step back, try it again, and I'm sure that we'll be able to achieve the result.
So you already seen it. So you saw how to create images, realistic images, just with plain English, the new programming language, the prompt, with different technique. We don't use aspect for images, videos, and audio. You already said it, okay? For images, you use this 6-step technique. When you want to create a video, you have to think that there's also a new component, a new variable, that's movement. So a video can move, and in this way you have to say it, you have to put it on the prompt. You have to put which kind of movement do you want. For example, Daniel has put that 360-degree movement, so a kind of zoom in, zoom out, whatever movement do you want. So you saw how to create images, how to create good text, how to create good prompts, how to create videos. And now let's try to combine everything. Let's try to create one thing that combines images, text, audio, and video. And it's called an avatar, an AI avatar. You saw before that Daniel has stopped me in order to record a voice memo, voice note. And what have you done, Danny? Show us what have you done.
Exactly. So we're now going to take this to the next level, and we're going to be introducing an AI avatar. So you might recall that I interrupted Jordi in the middle of the explanation before to get an audio, a voice note in this case. And I promise you it was for a good reason. It was because we wanted to generate an avatar. So first of all, let's play the audio and just remember what Jordi said. So we're going to play it now.
Okay, we are here in the second class in order to see how these different types of models work. And you will see how these different proof techniques are used. And later you will see the new business model 2026.
Okay, I think Jordi was talking about what we're going to be doing right now. So if we go now to my screen, we're going to see here an image of Jordi. It's actually a video. And I'm going to put my sound up. And I want you to listen to what Jordi is saying.
Okay, we are here in the second class in order to see how these different types of models work. And we'll see how these different prompt techniques are used. And later on, you will see the new business model 2026.
Okay, so as you can see, Jordi is saying the exact same thing that we said in the voice note. But you may recall that Jordi was wearing a dark blue sweater, and the lighting behind him was blue. But here you can see he's wearing a green polo, and the lighting behind him is green. That's because this video was not recorded by Jordi. This is an avatar that we made using AI, using the image, video, and that voice sample from the voice note of Jordi. The potential here is amazing. We just made a 15-second video from a voice note that he didn't even know what was for, and the results is exception. This looks very realistic. Now, I want you to think further on the uses and the business uses of this technology. First of all, it can help you automate a ton of work. Every business nowadays needs social media. Sometimes it's difficult to get the owner of the business or the face of the business to be available to make videos. Using avatars like this is a great solution for marketing. And take it to a next step. Let's say you are learning about AI, as you are doing right now, and you're thinking of different services or different ways to monetize and generate more income. How about selling avatars to businesses so they can generate video, content, internal learning videos, etc., without having to spend any time, just by giving a voice note or writing the prompt and generating a hyper-realistic video just like this one. This is exactly what we were referring to the business model of 2025 and 2026. There are hundreds of people out there selling to different businesses this exact same thing. An avatar that can automate the creation of content, realistic content with effects, with sound, and with just a realistic appeal of the person or the brand that you are selling the product to. Okay, so I want to give you a precise example of someone who did it, and it's ourselves here at Tenbeye. So we started doing this at the beginning of this year, and in our first month of operating with this model, we generated $7,250. In our particular case, we went for a niche. We went to doctors and surgeons. These are very busy people that are not very good at marketing and not very good at publicizing themselves and getting people to come see them for their expertise. So we pitched them on the idea, and what we did is we recorded a few videos, a few voice samples of them, just like I picked with Jordi. And with that, we were able to generate a ton of content for them to post on social medias. They talked about the different diseases they deal with, the different types of surgeries that they perform, good practices for their health, typical problems with their patients, and managed to automate their online and social media presence for the entire month with just about 2 or 3 hours of work. These profiles typically don't like showing on social media. They don't have the time for it. They're typically people who are a bit older and are just not natural, are not used to social media. So there's a lot of value add that you can do this. If you learn the skills, you yourself can start doing this. Just state if you wanted to hire an agency with a professional videographer, photographer, someone to edit the content, how much money would that cost them per month? You can do it for the third or fourth of the cost and charge between $1,000 to $3,000 for each customer and start selling this as a service today. Back to you, Jordi.
And to wrap up, here's a sneak peek of what you will see tomorrow. Tools are the glue that ties everything together: text, image, video, audio. But automation, that's a real game changer. Automation is what allows AI to run in the background of your business. It saves you time and cuts stress. And everything you've just seen, building your own agent, generating images, videos, even avatars, this is in theory. It's something that thousands of people are already applying in their day-to-day lives. And to show you what really happens when you go from understanding AI to actually using it, I want to share a story that moved us deeply. You might be thinking that this is only for tech people, that of course that works for Jordi and Danny. They've been doing this for years and years, but that's not true. That's not it. We have people like Cecilia, that is an engineer. She's not a programmer, and she doesn't come from a tech background. She started from zero. She's a journalist. She's a mother of four, and by applying exactly what you're learning here, she managed to reinvent her career and start working with more freedom.
My name is Cecilia Ramirez. I am 43 years old. I'm from Chile and I am a journalist by training. I studied at the Pontifical Catholic University of Chile and I worked for more than 15 years in strategic communications at this same university. Eventually, I became a mother of 4 children, and when my 4th child was born, I decided it was time to take charge of my own land. I always liked my job, but now I felt it wasn't compatible with the large family I have. So I decided to become independent. I studied digital marketing. Then I also started to research what other broader training programs I could start to update my knowledge and always stay at the forefront of knowledge in artificial intelligence. That's how I ended up at Centella. One of the things I like most is that it's a very hands-on program where you learn by doing. What things have marked a before and after for me in this program? That I've been able to optimize my work time and open my mind, being able to apply what I've been learning to do things more efficiently and better. I specialize in digital marketing and also work in press management, where I write press releases aimed at the entire country. And I was already using ChatGPT to help me write these press releases. Little by little, I had managed to develop something that made my life easier in this area. But with the Centella program, I was able to achieve this much faster by creating a GPT agent that allowed me to cut in half the time it took me to produce a high-quality press release. It allows me, while excelling at my work tasks, to spend more quality time with my children. So, thanks to the training from this program, I've been able to balance my professional duties and my responsibilities as a mother of 4 much better. I recommend this training to everyone. No matter what level you're at, you won't regret it. You'll be able to apply it not only to the practical aspects of your job, but also to your daily life. So get motivated, don't be afraid. It's an excellent program. This is the moment. Later won't work. If you don't join now, you'll be late.
Stories like Cecilia's are happening every single day inside Centella. People with no tech background who had never touched a single line of code, and today they are reshaping their careers and their lives thanks to AI. And this is happening. That's exactly what we are aiming for, to gain time and quality by having an AI agent working alongside you. And the most important part is that this isn't some rare exception. This is happening every week. We hear from people who, without any prior experience, are using AI to improve their work, generate extra income, or simply reclaim hours of their day. What makes the difference is not the tool, it's how you use it. And that's exactly what you're learning here. Again, we show you that you don't have to be a techie, you don't have to be raised with a smartphone, you don't have to be a programmer.
And now let's do a quick recap of everything that we've learned today. Today, we learned how to create an AI agent, your own custom assistant that can respond, perform tasks, and help you automate your own work. We also looked at different types of generative models, from text models, image models, video models, and audio models. And we saw how each one requires a different type of communication, because I don't talk the same way to Jordi, to my cousin, or my car. Each model requires its own prompting style. On top of that, we reviewed the aspect technique that is structured to allow you to communicate with an AI model, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Runway, and get consistent professional results. And the most important part, you saw that you don't need to be a tech profile or have any experience coding to do this. You just need to apply the right logic, understand the structure, and most importantly, practice. Now, before we continue, I want to talk to you about the 2026 business model, which we basically saw before. It is creating agents and selling it. You saw that this is a highly valuable skill that can add a lot of value to businesses or professional profiles such as doctors, engineers, etc. that are not used to working with social media. You can create an avatar for them, automate their entire video production for their website, for their YouTube channel, or their social media, and sell this. As we told you, we started doing this at the beginning of the year, and in our first month, we generated over $7,000 in sales. If you go to heygen.com, that's heygen.com, you can generate the exact same avatar that I created for Jordi before, and you can do this for many businesses and professionals and sell it for a profit. Okay, so now finally, I'm going to send you a bit of homework. The reason I want to do this is because I want to make sure that you understood and took all of the value from today's lesson and that you can prepare for tomorrow's class, which, like I told you on yesterday's class, is my favorite one. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing automations. So what I want you to do is to practice creating your own GPTs, your agents, which is what Jordi was explaining to you at the beginning of the session. So going to ChatGPT, remember that we're going to open the sidebar right here, and we have GPTs here on the left-hand side. We're going to have two different scenarios. Number one is if you have the pro version of ChatGPT. That means you're paying around $20 a month and you have ChatGPT Pro. If you have it, you will see that here on the top right-hand side, you have a create button. And my homework for the people who have this is to start creating your own agent. You're going to go here, name it, add a description, and just add the instructions. Jordi did it before. You can go back in the video and rewatch how you did it. I would like you to create your own GPT model for any tedious task that you do on a daily basis. Think in your work, think of that boring tasks you have to do very frequently, and you would love to have an intern that can just do it for you. That's going to be your own agent. So if you have the pro version, please create your own GPT version, your GPT agent. This is because tomorrow we're going to learn how to automate this. So if you come with your GPT already created, you're going to be able to get even more value from today's class. Now, for those of you who have the free version of ChatGPT, no problem at all. We're going to go to the exact same section. The difference is that we're not really going to have the create a GPT section, but we're going to have, what we have is you could say Apple Store, the GPT store of all the GPTs that have been created by the community. As you can see the most common ones, these that are featured, and you can see trending GPTs. These are basically agents that different people have created for you that you can use yourself. You have it here categorized by section. We have writing, productivity, research and analysis, education, whatever it may be. Or you can even search yourself. Let's say, for example, that I'm a chef and want recipes. I can write recipes, for example, as keyword, and it's going to search within the GPT database. And here we go. Master Chef Cooking, Food and Recipes. We have over 400,000 people using this. We can open it up. We can even see the reviews and what people are saying and can interact with this chat and start working with it. If you have the free version, please do this so you come even more prepared for tomorrow. Having said this, I'm passing it back to Jordi now, who's going to finish today's class.
And this doesn't end here. Well, this is where the tools part wraps up. But what's coming tomorrow? Because it's important. Tomorrow is one of the most important days. Tomorrow is what we call the Holy Grail. Tomorrow we are going to talk about automations. Automations is when we connect AI models, text, image, video, audio, with the actual tools you use for work. You are going to see how AI can build an entire website for you, a presentation, or a full report in seconds, even if you are just starting from scratch. Tomorrow you will totally understand what it means to master AI because you're going to learn how to bring real intelligence into your workflows. You will see how to connect ChatGPT with tools like Google Sheets, Docs, or Notion, and automate tasks that right now are eating hours of your week. Until now, we've been talking about how to communicate with AI. Tomorrow, you will see how to make AI work on its own for you. I'm not exaggerating when I say this is going to be the most practical and the most powerful class of AI 3 and 4. And now, because you've waited until the end, we have a special gift for you. It is called the Fast Cash Kit, and you will find inside it 3 different ways to monetize AI. 3 different ways that our students have already done it, and you can also do it. Because, again, you don't have to be techie, you don't have to be raised with AI within a smartphone, you can learn it. The new programming language is English. And how to get it, how can I get this special gift? Danny, how can I do it?
Very simple, Jared. So basically, you're going to go to leibin.com and you're going to look for our profile. In this case, we have Finpeya Education Academy. You can see it here on the screen. You're going to go to our latest books, which is this one right here, talking about AI 3 and 4. And we want you to like, share, and comment Mastering AI with Finpeya. Mastering AI with Finpeya. And just by doing that, we're going to send you that free guide so that you can start learning and monetizing more with AI.
Thank you for being here once again, for showing up, for your commitment, and for believing in yourself. This is just the beginning. Again, see you soon in Class 3, one of the most practical classes of all AI 3 and 4, where you will learn how to combine everything with these tools, how to generate a presentation, how to generate a website from scratch, how to automate everything, your workflows, and without having to touch a line of code. Thank you very much. See you in the next class.